Welcome back to my channel. I am happy to have you here with me. My videos are meant to inspire people and demonstrate that there is life after death. If you like what you see, please consider liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. It's free and helps the channel grow. Now relax and enjoy today's narration. It all happened in June 2019. It was a day like any other, but hotter than usual. I was riding my bicycle to work as I did every day when a car veered into my lane. The bike and I were hit hard, and I was thrown 5 meters away from the point of impact. The car was going so fast that the impact was devastating for me. I lost consciousness. I don't know how much time passed, but when I opened my eyes, I could see myself lying on the road. The scene of the accident was terrible. Unfortunately, I immediately noticed that my right leg was severely twisted. Suddenly, a force began to drag me. I was terrified, so I tried to resist. Just then, a voice said, "Relax, don't resist. I'm here to help you." I stopped resisting because I knew it was useless. I was walking through a dark tunnel, at the end of which was a small white point. Eerie noises came from the tunnel. It sounded like a cat scratching a couch, and I could faintly hear some painful wails. Slowly, all these sounds disappeared, and I found myself in a mysterious place. The sky was so blue that just thinking about it still moves me today. The grass was so soft you could lie down and fall asleep, the water so pure. What shocked me the most were the souls I saw. Everyone seemed so happy. I was curious about everything around me. At that moment, I asked myself, is this paradise? To my surprise, the answer to my question was, yes, this is paradise and I've been waiting for you. There was no one next to me, so who was speaking? But the voice came from right next to me. It was a gentle voice, like a mother singing a lullaby to her child. What did you mean when you said you were waiting for me? The voice told me that my time on earth was over and that I could stay there. But if I wanted to return to earth, no one would stop me. I asked why I couldn't see him. The voice told me that I couldn't see him because my eyes were not open. I closed my eyes, and when I reopened them, everything in front of me became clearer and more beautiful. Finally, I saw who was talking to me. It was a young man with a beard and brown eyes, healthy skin, and wearing a very clean white tunic. He had scars on his hands and feet. I am not a Christian, and there are no Christians in my family, but now I was with Jesus. Jesus reminded me that it was time to make a decision, to choose to stay in paradise or return to earth and continue living. I told him I wanted to think about it. I thought about my mother and my pregnant wife. I wanted to stay here so much that I felt very torn. In the end, I made my choice. I had to return. I couldn't leave my loved ones, at least not yet. Are you sure? Yes, I was sure. Jesus showed me several visions of the future. I know I saw many, but not all are in my memories. I saw humanity losing faith every year. I clearly remember an empty church with the priest preaching to only 2 people. I saw humans set foot on the moon again and plant another flag next to the faded one that Armstrong planted in 1969. Then he took my hand, and I clearly remember one more personal thing that broke my heart. I saw myself laying flowers on my mother's grave, and I could read the year of death. My mother would die in 2 years, in 2021. But unfortunately, what I saw next was worse. I saw a world war scenario. The Earth's population drastically decreased, so much so that many countries were no longer populated, and many others disappeared completely. My face was shocked. I stood still, not knowing what to say. The war was caused by world powers that wanted to expand their influence and further enrich their nations through conflict. The war was unlike the past ones. It was more brutal than all the others. I saw chemical warfare like the poisoning of water and gas that spared no one. Planes left trails dangerous to humans and vegetation. The Earth's climate at that time was changing. There would no longer be spring and autumn. The winter would be much colder than now, and it would no longer be possible to move outdoors normally in the summer. The harsh environment would drastically reduce food production capacity, and many people would live in hunger. In the end, the population was exhausted, alliances no longer existed, and each nation fought for its own interests. Jesus asked me again if I wanted to return to Earth. Going back after seeing this future terrified me. The idea of staying in that place of peace and avoiding any suffering kept running through my mind. But I asked him, before deciding, what would happen if I stayed. He took my hand again, and new images entered my mind. I saw my future son, who was about 20 years old at the time. Instead of continuing his education, he joined a gang and ended up in prison for participating in a fight, then died in a shooting. My wife later found another man who was an alcoholic and often mistreated her. Jesus let go of my hand a second time and asked me the same question again. You can guess my choice. I believe I made the right choice. I can always be there for my son and watch him grow. My wife and I spent 34 years together. Many people want to know why I waited 2 years to tell all this. The simplest answer is that I was afraid. I didn't want people to think I was crazy. It's something I haven't even told my family. My mother died in 2021, and I considered it a pure coincidence. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I believe Jesus showed me everything that will happen. I am almost 42 years old and have nothing to gain or lose by telling this. I lost hearing in one ear in the accident that day. The accident opened my eyes to the brevity of life, and I became a devout Christian. If the Second World War were to occur, I believe that God will not abandon us. God will always be with us. What I saw frightens me greatly, especially in light of the current tensions between nations. The world situation seems to be constantly worsening, and the idea of such a grim and violent future fills me with anxiety. I don't know how we can overcome these challenges or what we must do to prevent such catastrophic events, but I am convinced that faith can guide us toward a solution. I believe that with our faith, we can save ourselves and avoid many unnecessary deaths. It is an urgent call to find peace and unite as humanity to face difficulties together. After hearing this story, do you really believe that World War III will happen? Feel free to tell me in the comments.